CAR, at Corporate and Industry Relations, for learning and development, we have four verticals. That is, we train them in their language, verbal skills, every nuances of language, how effectively they should use English language. Then we have some training for their, logical thinking, some training for reasoning ability, numerical aptitude, those things. That is aptitude training. Then we have soft skills, so-called behavioral skills and life skills. And we have some technical training where they are trained on hands-on programming, some knowledge about database management, those kinds of things. So that is very applied, the applied aspect of those things. Now, when we look at our students, we categorize these students into broad three categories based on their learning needs. That is, some students, the top 20% of the students, most of the time, they are ready to go on their own. They are actually well aware and capable of dealing with the curriculum that we have on their own. There'll be a 60% middle who really need our support to go through this curriculum and pick up those skills. And there'll be last 20% of students who actually may not have the basic skills to actually adapt to the curriculum that we have designed for them. Now, we have different approaches for these people. For the middle group is the conventional training that happens. Of course, all of them will be attending that training. The top people, the top 20%, we challenge them. We give them more, higher level. If you see, our training is at application level. We ask them to do some analysis, research on it, do some kind of synthesis, kind of create something new. Create something new kind of a challenge we will give. We will ask them to design some activity. Those kinds of challenges we give to the top 20%. At the same time, for the bottom 20%, we have mentoring activity. We do a specific training need analysis for them, and we spend some time with them so that smaller groups, we interact with them in smaller groups, find out where is their problem. Most of the time, there will be some learning blocks in them rather than the skill gaps. They might be kind of anxious to learn. They might have some mental image about themselves that I'm not academically good, or they might have some inhibitions when it comes to life skills, soft skills, coming up to the stage and speaking, or making a presentation, those kinds of things. So we spend some. So that is one of the biggest value add that we give to these students. Also, we conduct company-specific training when the companies come to recruit. That is, for that company, what is the job role, what are the specific skills, or what is the persona that this company expect for this role. Those kinds of information we collect, and we interact with the students and share with the students. We ask the students also to come prepared with the job description of the company, background of the company, and so on. Similarly, we have something called a summer training. That is just before our engineering placement starts. During that summer vacation, 2 weeks of intensive training on all these verticals. That is their verbal skills, aptitude skills, the soft skills, and especially on domain and technical skills. So we have all that areas which are being covered by our core recruiters would be trained to them, so that they get a refreshment on their learning. So that is another value add that we give to the students. Similarly, we have a winter training, which is for once we come to the end of the placement process, then we find there are some that bottom 20% of students may not be exactly those students who are not placed. So what we do is, before starting that winter training for the unplaced students, what we do is we do a training need analysis. We find out from these areas where is actually their problem, where do they need support, and we find out, we assign them mentors in those special areas. We conduct some small group interactions and some kind of a support that we give to them, so that their confidence get boosted up. Some people get stuck at some stages of their interview process. Some people might be clearing all the written tests and all those activities, but interviews they may not be doing well. So we find out where is that they find problems. Accordingly, we support them into kind of doing better in their process. See, again, our alumni who are placed in different companies, when those companies are coming for recruitment, especially those companies which we think are very good for the future of our students. So if our students are placed in those companies recently, we call them into a panel, and we take these students who have applied for this particular job, and we will be there as moderate. Some of the senior people in our institution will be there, and we make them interact with each other like you just said in the first question, and they share with them the kind of learning and experience that they had during their interview process, and how is a typical work day in their job is. So they get a real peer learning where they feel real rather than we giving them information. So these kinds of activities are alumni, and they're more than happy to come and interact with their juniors. They really add a lot of value in this process. We do that. Then second is when we conduct webinars, seminars, workshops, faculty development programs, we request our alumni who are in the industry to they themselves become our resource people. Sometimes they refer someone who is very renowned, who are known to them in their industry. So they help us with that as well. Also, our business schools, they have regular boot camps before their placement season starts, where these alumni come and they spend the whole day interacting with them. They again similarly it's mostly offline. They come interact with these people, share their experience, they network. So that is again happening. So these are the different activities that our alumni do to us for the betterment of the career prospects of our students. During this pandemic period, all of us have to be remote ready. So the placement process, every educational activity, industrial activity had become remotely we've been operating. Now, most of the recruitment processes, the early phases of the recruitment processes has got established into an online system, where the companies, the recruiters found it to be more economically viable. It broke the barriers of location, time limitation. You cannot physically, if you can only go to one college. You can do it for multiple colleges, and it is flexible. Timing is flexible. There are so many advantages and economic viability, scalability for the early stages of the recruitment process. And probably, in my opinion, it would have made it more efficient. For example, some of the large corporates, they do a national level test where sometimes they had to go to a college. Based on the college, they used to select students. Now you wouldn't miss any talent because you are doing a national level screening. Probably the next most important stages, they will be doing it physically. They might offline meet them and talk to them. Even interviews have been effectively conducted in the online mode. So that is one of the trends that has happened. Now, second thing that I have observed is these recruiters, employers have previously, before this pandemic came and things became online, people were mostly focusing on their knowledge only. Now I see people are specifically, especially during the online period, they were specifically looking at higher level. If I say I know something, they would like to know at what level you know. Is it at applied level, or is it at only at a knowledge level and understanding level? Or can you do a further analysis? Can you synthesize it into a project or into something different? Can you integrate into something? So they are very particular to know what is. They agree that you know the concept, but can you apply it in a situation? They give practical case studies to test it, and also they see, can you do a further analysis of why is it effective, kind of, or can you kind of synthesize or put it into a different project, or can you integrate that into another concept and make something different? So that is another thing that the industry has kind of evolved into. At Amrita, Amrita students are unique because of our unique culture. We have Amma as our chancellor. She's one of the most famous spiritual leaders in the world today. So that impact is there in our entire thing what we do. So we give a unique combination of domain technology knowledge and behavioral skills and attitude and values to our students. So whenever our students whenever a company comes and take our students, they keep coming back to us because they say your students are unique. There is something different in your students other than their knowledge elements. Definitely there will be colleges and institutions where from students with similar technical knowledge and domain knowledge would be coming. But Amrita students generally show some kind of a unique value alignment and a service orientation, probably that they are ready to work in teams, they are ready to kind of give. So that kind of a thing they find, and most of our recruiters keep coming back to us just because of the kind of unique combination of this mix that they get in our students, most of our students.